Good morning, everybody. So let's get right into it. Fired up over the death of the latest aid worker, Kayla Mueller, the president officially asked Congress to authorize military action against ISIS terrorists.
I'm optimistic that it can win strong bipartisan support and that we can show our troops and the world that Americans are united in this mission.
The president is proposing use of military force for 3 years. He did rule out large-scale U.S. combat ground operations like what we got dragged into in Afghanistan, though he does want the flexibility for ground combat operations. But as we well know, Congress is seriously divided about how to deal with ISIS. Time will tell. After weeks of escalating violence, leaders have agreed on a ceasefire to the fighting in eastern Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin says the ceasefire will begin at midnight Saturday, and leaders also agreed on a division line for withdrawing heavy weapons. In other news, the Chapel Hill community in North Carolina is still reeling from the shooting deaths of 3 honor students, including a newlywed couple married just weeks ago.
6 weeks ago, I cried tears of joy at my baby brother's wedding. Today we are crying tears of unimaginable pain over the execution-style murders.
Students gathered yesterday on the UNC campus in a vigil for the victims. The 3 killed Tuesday evening in their condo just east of the campus. The alleged shooter, 46-year-old Craig Hicks, is being charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. Police are also investigating whether or not the shooting was a hate crime. And more sad news this morning. CBS and the larger broadcast community are mourning the loss of longtime 60 Minutes correspondent Bob Simon. 73-year-old Simon was killed in a car crash in New York City. During his 5-decade career, Simon traveled all over the world covering some of the biggest stories of our time. Some of his accolades include 2 Emmys, 2 Peabodys, and in 2003 he won an Emmy Lifetime Achievement Award. Simon is survived by his wife and daughter. And lastly, your top 5 headlines this morning. Jackie Robinson West, the Little League team from Chicago that won the U.S. Championship, has now been stripped of their title, and many are crying foul. Officials say the team illegally used players from outside its geographic area. So basically, because of the actions of adults, the players have had their accomplishments stripped. So, the big question is what people think about this. So we asked, our Facebook community to sound off on this. And Shelley said this, quote, regardless of how the team was formed, it was that the team worked and practiced hard to get where they were able to win that title and trophy. They deserve it and should get to keep it. You know what, Shelley? I agree with her because it's the adults' actions. This title means everything to these little kids.
They work so hard.
Yeah.
They work so
hard. I agree with you, Shelley, too. But I would also say, listen, these kids are from Chicago. They're like, you know what? It don't matter. It's still ours.
We still won.
We still
got
won.
that title,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they got
that's
the
that
spirit.
Kanye attitude.
Yeah, that's that Kanye.
Kanye.